How is it going, my heroes, my villains, and everybody in between? Sean Ross here, and welcome back, guys, to another live reaction to My Hero Academia. We are on manga chapter number 248, and the title of this week's chapter is One by One.
The more you concentrate, the faster you'll learn. Control over One for All isn't gonna happen overnight, but you'll nail it one day. You just gotta keep trying.
Which is what I'm expecting Endeavor and our Trinity to be doing if they come across some villains in this chapter. Just taking them out one by one. That's probably not what the title means for this new chapter, but I'm still curious to see what's gonna go down in this new chapter, because coming off of last week's chapter, we got some good development with Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki, but especially from Endeavor. I loved Endeavor getting to talk with all three of them, especially with Deku and Bakugo, and how he can kind of relate to them and kind of see a little bit of himself in Deku and Bakugo. But it was the ending of the chapter that has me excited going into this chapter, because Endeavor gave our Trinity an assignment for their work study. They basically have to try to stop and subjugate a villain faster than Endeavor.
Well, good luck with that.
That's going to be a tough task, because basically what he is saying, you're going to have to outmaneuver, outpace, and out-hero the #1 pro hero. So will they be able to do it? Which one of them is going to be able to do it first? Or will they work together to stop a villain faster than Endeavor?
Probably not, but maybe.
But I'm excited to dive into this chapter, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's dive right into chapter 248. Yo! So on the first page right here, we've got a full page panel of the Ryukyu work study squad.
I'm at the top of my game. I'm right up there with the big dogs. Girls, come on. Leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so.
So are we cutting away from Endeavor and our Trinity this chapter? Are we following Ryukyu? And maybe some other work studies? I'd like that. I was not expecting that for this chapter. I'd like to stick with Endeavor and the Trinity, but if we get to see the other work studies, I'm down. And this page, this shot looks awesome. I love getting to see our ladies out on patrol, just jumping into action. We got Froppy clinging to one of the buildings. We got Hado floating there like a fairy. Ryukyu in her dragon form flying in the background. And then front and center, we've got Ochiko showing off her new upgrades to her costume, which you already know that Mei Hatsume was involved in some way, shape, or form with those upgrades.
Oh, I never asked. Are you changing part of your costume?
A little. I don't want to feel sick anymore. Oh, you don't say. In that case, you've got to try this out. Why do I feel like it's about to explode?
The Ryukyu squad is on the case. Chapter 248, One by One.
And here we... Gotcha, bitch! That's how it is.
And we're going back to Deku and the Endeavor work study. Okay.
Lol.
Wow, Horikoshi. That bait and switch with that first page. I was getting ready for a Ryukyu work study focused chapter, but no, it's what we expected. We're sticking with the Endeavor work study, but I honestly would like to get some glimpses of the other work studies. So if we can get first pages like that for the other work studies moving forward for some of the future chapters, I think that would be pretty cool. Just to get a brief glimpse of what everyone else is doing, because odds are we're gonna be sticking with Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki with Endeavor for this arc. Man, just dangling that first page in front of us being like, oh, you think you're getting this? Psych!
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
I see what you're doing, Horikoshi. I see you. But okay, back with Deku. We just see him jumping through the city streets right here. He's actually jumping from lamppost to lamppost. Okay, Deku. Hardcore parkour. Meanwhile, barely within panel shot, you just see Bakugo just launching himself through the city with his quirk, who is probably, most likely shouting die in the process. Die! It's not as if I didn't have enough of a sense of urgency. Deku takes on his second internship. I inherited a quirk at age 14, back when everyone else was thinking, where can these two legs take me? I was still only learning how to walk. I learned how to control One For All along with Full Cowl, and then I acquired the muscle memory so that I could use it subconsciously. And then we got that flashback shot of Hellboy himself. Listen up, kid. From here on out, you're going to manifest 6 quirks.
This just got a whole lot more interesting.
I need to acquire and learn all 6 of them as quickly as possible. Yes, you do, Deku. You got a lot on your plate. And who is this guy right here?
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
This guy on the motorcycle almost looks like Sonic the Hedgehog's cousin. Like, he is a need for speed, and I'm guessing this is the villain that Bakugo and Deku are chasing after. Yo, Endeavor got to him first. Endeavor just launches a flamethrower, just fire at this guy, knocks him off the motorcycle, and if that fire doesn't burn him, the road burn is gonna severely burn him. Oh my god. Youch! That burns! Ah, it burns! It burns! Ah! Yeah, and Endeavor and his sidekick have captured the cyclist.
Victory.
It looks like Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto were too slow. I don't see Shoto in this panel, but I'm guessing he's behind Deku and Bakugo. We caught the hit and runner. Looks like you kids were one step behind. Bakugo is not gonna like the fact that Endeavor just said that.
Here I am.
Okay, yep, so Todoroki was right behind Bakugo. It just takes some time to switch into high gear in the winter. That's all. Wow, Bakugo. Bringing up that old excuse because it's cold and it doesn't allow you to sweat as much.
All performance issues, you know, it's not uncommon. 1 out of 5.
And then Todoroki's like, Bakugo, have you realized? And then Bakugo just has this demonic face on him right now. You just see the sharp teeth in his mouth as he's like twitching back like, what did you say, Icy Hot?
What the hell did you say?
There ain't a damn thing in existence that you'd realize before me. Got it? But go ahead and say it, if it makes you feel better. And then we have adult Coda like, pfft, talk about petty.
LOL.
I mean, that is Bakugo. I mean, that's his middle name. Katsuki Petty Bakugo. But let's see what Shoto has realized, and he's pointing out to Bakugo. Every time he dashes, he emits flames from his feet. I don't know if you saw it, but he's probably taking the jet burn he used in Kyushu, compressing it, and using it to propel himself. I've got his quirk too, so I can tell just how amazing it is that he can generate such a large quantity of heat energy so quickly, and also control it with that much precision. Yeah, it's like a ripoff of my explosion.
Those are my moves.
Wait, don't tell me. Are you just now realizing this? Look at that face on Todoroki. You rarely see that on him. Like, I like seeing that. Yeah, I sure took the long way around. I think Todoroki's a bit impressed on what he's seeing from Endeavor right now, being able to see the capabilities of what he's going to be able to use with his fire quirk, being able to hone it and grow it and make it more powerful to where he could use it in similar ways to Bakugo, which there's a rivalry already there. But if Todoroki starts to rip off Bakugo much like how Deku has, oh, Bakugo is not gonna like that at all. He's gonna be so pissed.
Hey, Deku! It's seriously pissing me off. And Todoroki, I'll kill you too.
And Endeavor is on the move. I'll give you one more hint. There's a major street in that direction. And then now the mummy guy's like, leave this guy to me. It's rare to see Endeavor teach anyone other than Shoto after all. I see. He's helping us while simultaneously blocking off the criminal's escape routes with his flamethrower. And then the mummy guy in the back's like, I'll catch up with you guys later. As these guys are frantically trying to stay with Endeavor.
Jump over the camera. Jump over the camera.
Back in Kyushu, I had Hawks with me so we could divide the task between us. But under normal circumstances, heroes must be able to do anything and everything on their own. By the way, I was aware of that glass villain's subordinates back there, just to make that clear. Talk about petty. And Deku's like, gotcha.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Wow, pot meet kettle. Wow, Bakugo. Like, that's what the adult Coda just said to you. You're the one being petty, and yet he's able to point out to Endeavor, like, wow, look who's being petty right here.
You people are so petty and tiny.
Bakugo, you said you came here to learn what you weren't capable of doing, correct? And these guys are just talking while they're on the move. Your movement speed is quite good. It leaves nothing to be desired. For a rookie, that is. But right now, I can tell that you won't be able to surpass me. Oh man, he's just gonna piss off Bakugo even more. I told you, I need more time in the winter. Will you still use that excuse when you don't make it in time to help someone? That's a good point. I like the fact that Endeavor just brought that up. There are no excuses in the real world. It's either you give 110% or you were unable to save someone. You're not in school anymore. When you're too slow, you won't lose any points on your GPA. What gets lost is someone's life. Endeavor is saying all this while he is saving pedestrians from a truck about to run them over. That's what he was doing this whole time, talking with Bakugo. He was rushing ahead of them. He stopped the truck. You can see the woman at the bottom of the panel as the Trinity arrive on scene, and then just that wide shot of Endeavor saving their lives. That's awesome. Like, Endeavor is preaching, but also putting what he's saying into action.
What matters are actions. You have to show him what you're trying to prove, right? If you're going to rely on words alone, then they'd better be incredibly powerful. What you say doesn't matter near as much as what you actually do. It's
the actions that Endeavor is doing right now that is going to instill what he is saying into the three of these guys right here. That is awesome. Nani? And just look at the shocked faces, especially of Deku, but you can tell Bakugo's like, ugh, and then Shoto just getting there like, that's the #1 hero. Shoto, Bakugo, for now, I'll be giving you two the same assignment. Why am I always paired with this jackass? He's like, why is it always icy hot? Meanwhile, Todoroki, unfazed by Bakugo, is this somehow connected to learning Flash Fire? Store up energy and release it. You must learn how to condense your power. And we see Endeavor doing exactly that. He's condensing the fire underneath his feet, which propels him and moves him at top speeds to get from scene to scene so quickly. And meanwhile, Deku is tending to the woman that almost got run over, and she's just screaming at the truck driver who came out and is now apologizing and bowing to her like, I'm so sorry, I almost ran you over, I'm so sorry. And also how to draw out your maximum firepower in an instant. And then, when you release it, it must be focused into a single point. Focus on one of those things first and practice it repeatedly until you can do it without thinking. I mean, honestly, that kind of sounds like Bakugo's AP shot, condensing it into a single point to where it builds up pressure and power, and then just releasing it.
Not from my entire hand, but a blast from a single concentrated point. AP shot!
You have to keep reading.
Kachan, that sounds just like the trick behind your AP shots. Exactly. I should have kept reading. But of course, Deku, being the big nerd that he is, of course is going to make that connection that sounds exactly like Bakugo's AP shot. And I love the fact that he's so happy, he turns around, he's like, Bakugo, that sounds exactly like your ultimate move. Then meanwhile, Bakugo's probably like, shut it, you damn nerd. I already realized that. Why do you know the trick to it? Don't come any closer to me, you weirdo. And then the sound effect for his stance is shudder. Pissed. I mean, Bakugo, is always in a state of being pissed, so nothing new there.
A few moments later.
But then we have a panel of the sun in the sky, so some time has passed. And now we see the Trinity and Endeavor on top of a building. I mean, that right there is classic superhero pose. Especially Bakugo. Bakugo is reminding me of Spider-Man right there. What up, Danger?
Like, what's up, Danger? Like, what's up, Danger?
You're already halfway there to all of those requirements, Shoto. First, try focusing your flames on a single point. You're able to control the shape of your ice, correct? Take that same mental image and apply it to your flames. Yo, they are eating while they're on top of the building. So they're basically kind of having their own little shawarma moment on the rooftop of this building right now. That's like a small little thing, but I like the fact that they're actually taking a break from their patrolling and Endeavor's actually treating them to lunch. Endeavor, you're impressing me right now with how well you are handling the Trinity. Not only are you showing them how the #1 pro hero operates while out on patrol, but you take lunch breaks, you provide them with lunch, and not only that, you drop knowledge at the same time. You're training them even while on break. Endeavor, you're being a very good teacher right now. I think All Might could get a few pointers from Endeavor right now. This is really impressive.
You must be a great teacher. Are you implying something? No! I want to know your secrets. How do we train the next generation of heroes?
Deku, you're already able to momentarily raise your power level. Is that right? Yes. Are you able to do that subconsciously? For full cowl I can, but I still need to concentrate to use Air Force. Then first things first, train yourself to be able to use that Air Force thing subconsciously. Forget about that secondary part of your quirk for now. That's where the title of this chapter's coming in. Ding, ding, ding! One by one. Deku needs to take it one step at a time with his quirks and the many quirks he's going to have to try to master. So that makes sense. And Deku's just like, but what about parallel thinking? And then we just have a shot of Todoroki and Bakugo chowing down on their food. As part of their daily lives, everyone is able to use parallel thinking to process events concurrently. And they do it without even realizing. Take that man yawning while driving his car, for example. He wasn't able to drive from the day he was born. Steering, accelerating, braking, checking ahead and behind. He received instruction for each of these individual steps until he was able to do them all at once without even thinking.
That actually makes sense.
That's a really cool way of how to break down how we gain these experiences and just subconsciously begin to do tasks and other things without even realizing it. Everyone goes through this process throughout life. It's kind of like the circle of life.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. As king, you need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures, from the crawling ant to the leaping antelope. And so, we are all connected in the great circle of life.
And now I'm kind of viewing this situation as if it's like Mufasa talking to Simba about the circle of life. You have Endeavor preaching to his cubs, the Trinity, about how parallel thinking is obtained through life's experiences. That's kind of funny. To start, you need to become able to do two things at once subconsciously. Once you accomplish that, just add one more thing. No matter how powerful or intense your ability is, your foundation is always built upon an honest accumulation of experiences. There are exceptions, and we have a shot of All Might right there. But for the rest of us, our only option is to accumulate experience at the very least. That's the only method I know of. And you just see Deku listening intently, and Bakugo with the pouty face as he's got the food in his mouth is like trying to ignore Endeavor. And Todoroki's got like a glare on his face as well, but he's kind of listening intently too. Even if you're doing the same thing repetitively, the amount of experience you can accumulate here out in the field can't even be compared to what you get at school. Take the foundation you cultivated in school and let it all sink in here with me, in the best possible environment, at the #1 Heroes Agency.
Turn experience into power.
About 1.5 years ago, I was endowed with more things than I can count from All Might. Also, now we're getting some internal monologue from Deku. I enrolled at UA and had many valuable experiences. It felt like I was being tossed around at a dizzying speed, but right now, my maximum speed is simply, and then we're going back to Endeavor, not to worry. You can make as many mistakes as you need to. You 3 kids failing or succeeding won't have any effect on my work whatsoever because I am Endeavor. And then Deku is just confidently clenching his fist, doing things one by one. Hence the title of this chapter. But man, that line from Endeavor is kind of ominous for me.
There's a very bad feeling about this.
Because we know what's coming in 4 months, I don't know. I feel like Endeavor's not going to be able to save the day. Like, we're leading to some horrible, horrible events in the future. And I have a feeling like that right there is an ominous take on where we are going. Does not bode well.
1 week later.
1 week later?
What?
We're getting a little time skip right now? We're jumping ahead a week into the work study. The work study is basically lasting a week, so we're skipping a majority of the work study then. I was not expecting to get a little bit of a time skip right here. Ah, hello, Dad. I heard you're working with Shoto right now. So Fuyumi's talking with Endeavor on the phone. And he's even got friends with him, right? Why didn't you tell me? The second I heard about it, I practically burst into tears. Anyway, school's about to start, right? Once that happens, we won't have much time to spare, so... Yo, Fuyumi's looking really nice in this panel right here.
Oh! Oh, beautiful!
Looking beautiful right here. If you'd like, why don't you bring them all here today? I'll splurge for dinner for everyone. So we're about to get a Todoroki family dinner with Deku and Bakugo as +1s?
Nothing can possibly go wrong. Possibly go wrong. Huh. That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong.
An unexpected suggestion from the elder Todoroki sister. And that is the end of chapter 248. And we are on break next week. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll get chapter 249. And then the Todoroki dinner party. Deku and Bakugo are going to be in for a ride, and I am hoping Horikoshi bring back the slurping Todoroki meme. We got to get slurping Todoroki back for this dinner party. That would be amazing to see. But this chapter right here was a good one. It was short like last week's chapter, but I'm glad Horikoshi is getting a break next week. But the one thing I absolutely loved about this new chapter was getting to see Teacher Endeavor in action. Like, he thoroughly impressed me with what he was saying to Shoto, Bakugo, and Deku. What he was telling Deku with all that's on his plate right now, with the many quirks he's trying to master, basically just taking a step back and like, okay, Air Force, concentrate on that, try to do that subconsciously, then move on to your secondary quirk, and then keep on adding more and more once you can do it and master it subconsciously. I like that advice. Like, All Might, take some notes from Endeavor because he is a way better teacher than you. Very, very impressive.
Impressive. Most impressive.
So with that, guys, that right there is my live reaction to chapter 248 of My Hero Academia. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on the events of this chapter. What do you guys think of the advice that Endeavor was giving Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki in this chapter? But going into next week's chapter, even though it's in 2 weeks, what are you guys expecting to go down with this Todoroki dinner party? Will it be good? Will it be bad? Will there be slurping? And will there be any new information that we learn about Toya in this Todoroki family dinner? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon. That way you guys can be alerted for every new manga and anime reaction that shows up on the channel. And if you guys want to talk about MHA outside of YouTube or get alerts about the channel, feel free to also follow me over on Twitter. A link to my Twitter account can be found in the description down below. But that's going to do it for me here, guys. So until in 2 weeks' time, when we have chapter 249 with the Todoroki family dinner party with Deku and Bakugo included, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond plus ultra.